The suspense in Kerala continues even after the Congress-led UDF's big victory. More than a week after the results, the Congress has still not announced its chief minister. And that delay is now becoming a political story of its own. At the centre of the debate is a tough choice between top leaders like V D Satheesan, Ramesh, Chennithala and Venugopal. The party high command continues to meet leaders. But the point is that what came across as a democratic spirit looks like that Delhi is not able to control factionalism in the Kerala unit. And this is a bad signal. In Assam, in Tamil Nadu, in Pondicherry, we know the leaders. We also know the leader in West Bengal. The vote taking has taken place. But in Kerala, it has become a long process. Why has it become a long process? I'll decode it with Nirmal Abraham and Advocate Nikhil Chen. Nikhil, first to you. So much of time? Why?
I think, like I've been saying for the past few days, that unlike the BJP, the Congress isn't a party that reigns, with the stick of one man or one particular high command. It is a party that is taking into
No, I completely disagree with you, sir. There was a time when, you would only come to know things when, Ahmed Patel would tell you, I think something is happening in front of that big ministerial bungalow. Why don't you go and check it for me? And then you would realize he was indirectly giving you some news. And that's the only news you could decode. Things have changed, This was something which, it reminds me of BJP of post-2004. Or a BJP of 2005 when there were open fights, when, Uma Bharti got up and started shouting in the middle of a press conference, So there is a difference. But yeah, please continue, sir.
No, but that's exactly what I meant. I'm talking about the Congress party as it is today. See, I think we can all agree beyond whatever my political leanings are, that whenever a party is in power, the high command tends to be stronger. Whenever a party is
in opposition, you are an insider, so please tell me the real story, na? You are an insider, so please tell me the real story. Time क्यों लग रहा है?
Karthik, like it's been discussed in the media, the thing is that the majority of the MLAs are supporting one particular leader.
Who?
The popular polls are supporting. No.
I'm not even recording, so this is going on here. Who are they supporting? Venugopal?
That is what is being reported in the media right now, that the majority of the MLAs of the Congress party are supporting KC Venugopal, and the popular polls, as we've seen with the Mood of the Nation conducted by India Today and a bunch of other polls, V D Satheesan is coming out as a top pick. And that, I think, is something that is putting the Congress party and its high command in a pickle. That do you choose a leader by the organized process wherein you take into account what the majority of MLAs say, or do you take into account what the popular opinion at the moment is saying? And I think this is why the time is taking. But let's, to be fair to the Congress party, let's give them that they are taking into account the views of the former PCC leaders, former PCC presidents, the current PCC president, the in-charges, the co-in-charges, and all the other stakeholders involved. And only after then they are trying to reach a decision with deliberation and consultation. It is not like, I think on your show only yesterday, somebody said that the Congress party, only the Gandhi families will reign supreme. Had that been the case, KC Venugopal would have been the chief minister 8 days ago. But that's not the case. People's views are being taken into account, and that is why it's taking that amount of time, which sadly is not the case in the BJP and certainly not in the TVK. It was led by a single person. That person has become the chief.
Nirmal, which way things are turning? Kheer or khichdi?
Well, I have to say that it's unfortunate. We've been waiting in Kerala to know who is the CM, but then we're not getting an answer to that. But I am more concerned about what happens after, not what happens when they choose or announce the CM's name. Because what happens after is really concerning. Because as you've seen in the past, there were two occasions where Congress selected a known MLA as a chief minister in Kerala. 1977 was A.K. Antony. 1995, again A.K. Antony was once a Rajya Sabha MP. The other occasion was a KPCC president. And on both the occasions, there was interference from Delhi. So what happens usually after that is we will see more and more factions. We will see more internal politics, especially now that the names of the MLAs who supported KC Venugopal are exposed. We'll probably end up seeing more internal politics. We'll end up seeing, party members leaving. With that, the, ground level cadre leaving as well. So that's what I'm more concerned about for the Congress party. Having said that, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and this reminds me of this about KC Venugopal. This is what he said. he asked, do you remember watching the last sequence of the war in Bahubali 1, where Bahubali almost pummels the villain to death, and instantly at the end, Balal comes up with a mace and hits the villain to death. And now everybody claims he has to be the CM. So that's what I'm reminded of. But what's the other thing that I'm worried about? There are way too many Katappas in the Congress party. So so that's what I'm worried about. Bahubali 2, I don't want that to repeat in Congress politics in Kerala. So I hope they come up with the appropriate name. But whatever resolution they come up with, there will be consequences, whether it's Ramesh Chennithala or V D Satheesan.
Why do you say that there will be consequences, Navul?
Because on multiple
Is it because most of them are saying, no, we are going to resign as MLAs, or, we're not going to be part of the council,
if it's KC Venugopal, I don't think we'll see resignations of MLAs. But if it's KC Venugopal, we'll see the sentiment of the people maybe turning against Congress almost instantly. Maybe if he contests, as I mentioned before, an LP or whatever safe seat he chooses.
Venugopal will fall in line, but I think the real issue will come from Mr. Chennithala and Satheesan.
Yes, Chennithala especially. And, you kind of feel bad for Chennithala because, you look at his resume. NSU leader,
impressive resume.
Leader, great resume.
Yes.
But then you almost feel sad for him because he may not get another chance by the time it's 2031. Will be 75. So, yeah, I don't have a favorite, but my favorite, if you ask me, is V D Satheesan 1, Ramesh Chennithala 2, and KC Venugopal 3. But whoever is selected, we will see consequences.
Okay.
I'm not talking about immediate consequences.
Who is your favorite?
Long-term consequences.
Nikhil, who is your favorite?
Karthikeyan, my favorite doesn't really matter. I'm not a voter in Kerala. What matters is what the
Your opinion matters, bhai. Your opinion matters. So, who's your favorite? Okay. So, how do you see it? What's the pecking order in your analysis? I don't want this is not a BJP Congress debate. This is a Congress issue. So, what's the pecking order?
No, to be honest, Karthikeyan, I've been trying to myself understand it ever since this entire, discussion has been happening in the past 10, 12 days. And honestly, I can't really come up with an answer. When you look at Ramesh Chennithala, he's the senior most of them all, so far as state politics concerns. He became an MLA in 82.
Yes.
I think KC in 96 and Satheesan in 2001, becoming MLAs for the first time. But when you look at the fact that KC is not actively involved in the state politics at the moment. He's not been actively involved in the state politics for the last 9 years. And then you have KC's own stature as the General Secretary organization of the Congress party at the national level. That puts him as the senior most leader. So I really don't understand which of the three do you say is the senior most, or is the best pick, or is the leader who should be leading the state.
But then, don't you think that they should have done it a little earlier? So much of time they have taken is just robbing the victory of its sweetness. I mean, the process in itself has become so excruciating. If you recall, Rahul Gandhi in 2018 tweeted 3 photographs. Him standing with Jyotiraditya Scindia and Kamal Nath, him standing with Sachin Pilot and Gehlot, and him standing with Mr. Baghel the second gentleman. And look what happened. Look what happened in all the 3 states.
No, Karthikeyan, I think perhaps the party could have taken that decision at a faster pace, but I think that is one of the problems with the Congress party, that it is a behemoth that is so old and so big that everything is so bureaucratic. You have so many meetings, so many protocols, procedures, this, that a decision that can be taken in a regional party in a matter of 1 day or perhaps 2 days, or in a BJP that's more efficient or rather more autocratic, a decision that can be taken in the BJP in 4 days would take easily 2 weeks in the Congress party. And I think that is what we're seeing panning out at the moment.
Okay, but let me ask this point blank. 2 people are in strong position, but does it make Chennithala the consensus candidate? Is that a possibility?
That could happen, and that's why, as the longer it extends, I think there is a possibility of Chennithala, because that's most, like the consensus candidate or even the compromise candidate. And I wouldn't say that's unfair, because he deserves it. But you could, why I say he deserves it is because in the 5 years that he was the leader of the opposition, he did uncover a lot of controversies and scandals. But unfortunately, COVID, right before Kerala elections, COVID hit, and that's how the LDF government was re-elected, because of that sentiment. So you feel bad for him, you cannot entirely blame him. So even if he's selected, I would say that would be fair. But then again, the question remains is, if he is selected, then the whole equation changes, because whoever is selected, say V D Satheesan has the backing of the IUML, the Muslim League. Okay, whereas he does not have the backing of the Hindu communities like NSS community leaders, SNDP, Irava community leaders, because he doesn't like bowing down to these leaders. So he does not have that support. Ramesh Chennithala has. He's very diplomatic, whichever community it is, Christian community, Muslim community, whichever caste it is. So in those terms, he would be a decent candidate. But Satheesan, if you were to grow as a party in Kerala, especially giving such a big beating to LDF and the fact that BJP is only growing slightly here, it was a great opportunity. I think Congress is in that boat of going high and making this better for them in the future.
I completely agree. Strange decisions can be taken. And sometimes two rival factions, if they become so deeply entrenched, it creates a space for the third person. So let's see if Chennithala benefits from it or not. Thank you both of you for joining me in this conversation. This is all I had on Mount Point 3. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you and good night.
मेरे केस बैकलॉग को क्लियर करने के लिए